I coined the name LIVET because diet is spelled D-I-E with a T. And on many of the diets that I experimented with over the years, I felt like I was going to die. And I wanted a diet that you could live and you could live well. And when you say L-I-V-E with a T, LIVET, that is also what you need to do. You need to live the lifestyle. The same principles you use to become fit and to become healthy are the same things you need to apply continuously in order to maintain those states of well-being. Metabolic stimulation through nutritional balance is the core philosophy and goal of the LIVET Nutrition Plan. I believe that the calorie theory is largely inaccurate, and I don't count calories. But I do care about the metabolic impact of a nutrition plan. How does it affect hormones in the body? What is the effect on the body's energy systems? And is it nutritionally balanced or unbalanced? I wanted a phrase that would summarize my philosophy of nutrition. I came up with metabolic stimulation through nutritional balance. Now I'd like to break that phrase down. Let's go to the end, nutritional balance. Many of the diets that I tried when I was researching nutrition were unbalanced. They would cut out your carbs or cut out your fats or cut out your protein or some crazy thing. But you need nutritional balance in order to be able to follow a program for a lifetime. During the late 1980s, I began to teach the LIVET diet on a plate. At that time, other nutrition professionals were using graphs, charts, or the food pyramid. But I felt, since people ate off a plate, that it was the best way to teach people nutrition. During my nutrition consultations, I would draw a plate and have my clients add the foods as we went along. The federal government has replaced the food pyramid and is now using a plate as well. Let's take a look at the LIVET plate. So this is the LIVET plate. The diet was designed to do four things: help you to maintain ideal levels of muscle, ideal levels of fat, and if you had too much fat, to be able to reduce it, provide good energy and good health all at the same time. So there's different categories that we want to address. First is the protein category, and this says animal-based protein or high-density protein. The food in this category, the different foods, are fish, chicken, turkey, beef, eggs, that type of thing. And those foods provide nutritional factors that help you to maintain your muscle tissue and help you to metabolize body fat. The second category is your vegetable category, non-starchy and low-density complex carbohydrate. Now, the vegetables in this category are the ones that don't have a lot of carbohydrates. So things like asparagus, broccoli, cauliflower, green beans, cucumbers, that type of food. Now, these foods provide fiber, which animal food has little fiber in it. Actually, it has basically no fiber in it. It provides fiber. It also provides the vitamins and minerals, the phytonutrients, antioxidants, and a very low calorie delivery. Next is your starch category, and that's your high density complex carbohydrates. There's three basic categories in this of foods in the starch category. You have your starchy grains, so things like corn, brown rice, oats, etc. You have a starchy vegetables, which are mostly things that grow underground. So potatoes, sweet potatoes, turnips, carrots. These things have a significant amount of carbohydrate, which is very healthful. We need carbohydrates. The only exception I can think to this would be the hard winter squash that grow above the ground. They also do have a fair amount of carbohydrate in them. And the last category is your starchy beans, the kidneys, lentils, garbanzos, those types of beans. They provide a fair amount of carbohydrate as well. So the starch category is important. Once again, provides a significant amount of energy along with the vitamins, the minerals, the antioxidants, phytonutrients, fiber, etc. The fourth category is the fruit category, a high-density simple carbohydrate. Any type of fresh fruit is fine, again, providing fiber, a significant source of energy, and all those different nutrients that we talked about in the various other plant foods. Now, the other thing about this plate is that when animal protein foods are digested, it can have an acidic effect on the body. These plant foods, with the exception of grains, have an alkalizing effect, and so they help to balance out the pH in the body. Now, a fat can be added as a supplemental food source. either you can eat things such as nuts, seeds, avocados, things that are healthful fats. You don't necessarily need that every meal, but is something that can be utilized when you feel that you need some fat in your diet. So that is the basic LIVET plate. Now, one additional thought is that some foods have more than one macronutrient. Now, the macronutrients are proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. So some foods have all of those, and so how do you categorize them? So what I do is I pick the main macronutrient in the food, and I also pick the effect of the food in the body. So for example, milk. An average cup of milk, of whole milk, has 8 grams of fat, 8 grams of protein, and 12 grams of carbohydrate. So the main macronutrient is carbohydrate. The milk tastes sweet, and so I would put it in the high-density simple carbohydrate category. Obviously, it's not a fruit, but it would be in that category. Now, when milk is fermented and turned into what I would call medium carbohydrates, such as cottage cheese or Greek yogurt, some of the carbohydrates eliminated, and it would move down toward the protein category. And when you get to your hard cheeses, all of the carbohydrates have been pretty much eliminated during fermentation, and the cheese would then be in that category. So that is the basic LIVET plate. And from here, we will go on to the LIVET fat loss plate. The next plate is the LIVET fat loss plate. Now, the categories on this plate are the same as the last plate, so there's not a lot of explanation needed here. Essentially, all you're doing, if you want to lose body fat more effectively, is reducing your carbohydrates. So in the past, people said, well, if you want to lose body fat, go on a really low carbohydrate diet. The problem is reducing carbs somewhat can be good for fat loss, but cutting them out is an extreme. You're out of balance, and the extremes tend to produce bad results. So what we want is a reasonable balance. A moderate carbohydrate diet will work well for not only fat loss, but maintaining good energy. So basically what we're going to do here, if you notice this plate, is that we're keeping all the categories we had in the last plate, but we're reducing the size of the starch in the fruit category in relation to the protein. So basically what you're doing is, instead of having 2 high-density carbohydrate categories equal to 1 high-density protein category, which we had on the last plate, you are now reducing these essentially to half a serving of each relative to your protein. So this is really instead of a 1-to-2 ratio, which we had on the last plate, we had 1 high-density protein and 2 high-density carbohydrates. We are now reducing that ratio from 1 high-density protein to 1 high-density carbohydrate. Now this category is made up of the 2 different foods, but the volume is no different than the volume of the protein. So you can do this visually, but if for people who want to know numbers, generally I'd say it's about 1 gram of protein to 1 gram of carbohydrate. That's an approximate ratio of protein to carbs for fat loss. So once again, this is the LIVET fat loss plate. You maintain the same food categories. Ideally, you just reduce the 2 high-density carbohydrate categories down so that the ratio is approximately 1-to-1 on the plate of those foods. And so if you're wanting to work on fat loss while still having a healthful diet, that's the plate for you. So that's the LIVET Nutrition Plan, designed to produce a balanced state of fitness and health. Thanks for watching. I'm Jeff Riley for Fitness Innovations.